Hey guys, Tom from the 100th Monkey Radio here. It is Halloween, Samhain. It's an interesting time of the year, and in particularly this year is quite interesting. We've got a lot of very striking astrological things going on. There's a pretty significant alignment right now with Mercury and Mercury, the Sun, the Earth, and the Moon, which on Sunday, all of these things are lining up, and we're having that lunar eclipse happening on Sunday. And for it to be happening on November 3rd, that's like right smack dab in the center of Scorpio. And those scorpionic energies are active right now on the planet. They're very those types of energies are very conducive to being used, to being worked right now. Now, Scorpio kind of rules death and rebirth. And what I'm seeing right now as the big call, what I'm sensing as the big call on the planet right now, is clearing those attachments and those entities out of self. And there's actually quite a difference between what's being called an attachment and what's being called an entity. The entity will have an individuated consciousness or sentience, so it has its own personality, has its own being. They primarily are, at least my understanding is that they are basically primarily feeding they're feeding off of our emotional energy body primarily. That's why we have this constant barrage of fear in the world, and that divisive energy is out there to keep us from becoming close to each other, because divide and conquer, right? That's the game that's played. So, like I said, I'm really feeling a call right now for these things to really be addressed by all of us right now. Now, attachments are those things that we collect through life. You can call them attachments, you can call it programming, you can call it whatever you want to call it along those lines, but it's things that we've been taught that we don't know any better of right now. We know better, we do better type thing. We don't really understand how those attachments affect our lives, affect the way that the universe unfolds for us. If we have a negative attachment, say that vanity attachment, say you have a real strong vanity attachment. You've been taught your whole life you got to be as good as the Joneses or good as the Smiths or as beautiful as the model that they plaster on TV all the time, and nothing else satisfies. That's an attachment. When you become possessed and over concerned about how others see you, how you stack up against the rest of the world. It goes beyond the element of self-love and self-appreciation into a very negative aspect. That's the type of thing I'm talking about that is on the table now to be cleared. And if you look out into the quote-unquote woo-woo world, you'll find that's on the table for a lot of people. There's a lot of speakers out there right now are really addressing that aspect of the unfoldment. It's time to do the shadow work. It's time to go inside and clear those things that we know are there, that we feel are there, and we just haven't wanted to or haven't had the tools to. address and get rid of and fix within our lives. And all it takes for us to be able to do these things is the will and the desire to do it, the true will and true desire to do it, to set ourselves straight. There are a tremendous amount of teachers and healers out there that are there to assist, and so the answer for those attachments are out there for sure. Now the entities are a little bit different story. Basically we can deal with them along the same lines as how we deal with the attachments, just by awareness, knowledge, and raising our own personal vibrations. They just can't exist in a higher vibration. Although some of them can be real buggers. Some of them, it depends on. I suppose one of the primary things, at least in my experience, that I have found I had to do to be able to keep that element at bay, those types of energies at bay, is to understand how they got in the first place, how they hooked on in the first place, and then fix that within self. Because almost all of these things are invited in. I don't know if there's some mandate out there, universal mandate, that says that nothing can come through unless it's invited. But I do know that you can have somebody go in and expel something or exorcise a entity, and then the next week you see that same person again, and that same exact entity is hooked back in and tied back into them. And that's because they were invited back in. The door was left wide open. The door was left wide open, and whatever it was that the person was doing that invited it in and opened the door for it in the first place, they continue to do. They haven't done their due diligence and remain conscious enough to keep those things from coming back through. So my suggestion when dealing with both attachments and entities is to go through that core belief processing type thing. So you got to look at those things, and you have to actually trace down and go through the process of understanding the foundational or fundamental reasons why there was a crack in your shield on whatever it happens to be. And you have to do this from an objective standpoint. It's got to be from that objective standpoint. Or if you've got a judgment or you're coming from that wounded child perspective, you're not going to be able to see clearly enough to be able to actually address it fully and be complete with the process. So going in there, finding that core, finding that root is, and then once you've found that, you may have to do some changes. There may be some things that have to change, and almost always, from what I've seen, there is a change that has to happen within the way that you see the world, the way you address the world, the way you interact with the world, the way you look at yourself, the way you address yourself, the way you interact with yourself. These things, there is always, from what I've seen, there's always something that needs to change within self. So anyways, these are all processes that are out there, and there's a lot of different people out there that have some really good exercises, some really good guidelines on how to deal with this stuff. And I'd be more than happy to do what I can, whether it's something that I can do personally, or whether it's something that I would refer refer you to someone else who has more experience or understands whatever your particular situation is a little clearer than I do. I'm not too proud to say I don't know what to do with this, and pass it off to somebody who does know what to do with it. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, or if you would like some help with some issues that you're going through right now, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will be more than happy to take a look at it and give my 2 cents anyways. So anyways, besides that, I got my birthday coming up in a couple of days. That's actually quite an interesting year for me too. My birthday's November 2nd, the day before the lunar eclipse, and I've had a lot of changes happening in my life here this year. A lot more depth to what I'm seeing within self and in the world around me. So it's been an absolutely amazing year for growth for me. So anyways, guys, I'm at lunch here at work, and I'm going to be going back in just a couple of minutes, so I might as well sign off here. And good stuff. Let's see, who have we got on the show this week? We've got oh geez, talk about drawing a blank. I do know we have Richard Allen Miller is going to be on the live show Saturday, so that should be fun. And oh geez, we have that guy from Exopolitics Hong Kong on Saturday, on Sunday. His name slips me. Forgive me, guys. Anyways, I'll remember as soon as I get done recording this. You know how that works. Love you guys. Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance. And namaste, my friends. Oh, and also, man, send your friends over to the 100th Monkey. If you're one of our members there, we'd really like to. Ramon and I'd really like to beat the drum a little bit and get our subscriber base up some more. We've got a lot of ideas for things to do with the show, but it actually takes a little bit more capital than what is coming through the door right now. So going on a little bit of a subscriber I don't know, push. So anyways, guys, love you, and happy Halloween, and happy All Souls Day, happy All Saints Day, and happy All Hallows Eve. Namaste.